You tell me who is the new offensive line coach in Colorado. You tell me that.
He's new to the position, but he ain't new to the building. A lot of people have been speculating and looking for a name to come out, and a lot of folks have been lobbying for the game, for the job, and putting out hashtags. But Gunnar White has moved into that office once occupied by Phil Lodeholt. Gunnar White has a contract in front of him as of February 1st. It is his room. There's going to be some support and co-coaching, if you will, because Big George Hageman is going to be there in a support role as far as, giving all he can with his NFL experience from the Cowboys and the Eagles. But make no mistake about it, Coach Gunnar White, this is his room, this is his job, this is his opportunity. When you just sit back and look at where he has been, he's a HBCU graduate of Jackson State, coached at Belhaven under the legendary Hal Mumme, coached at Nevada offensive line, and also, it's been New Mexico. It's also been with Coach Prime since Jackson State. So he has earned this opportunity to move up and take over this room. And so many times, man, you see guys have to leave out to get an opportunity. They have to go to other programs and move across the country. But Coach Prime recognized the talent in Gunnar White, recognized, that he has rose up through the ranks. And so he has been given this opportunity he so richly earned, to coach the offensive line in Colorado. And one thing I say, Dukes, to a lot of people who don't know him, because in that graduate assistant role and analyst role back in the day, a couple of years ago, you couldn't interview them. They couldn't have direct impact as coaching players. So, he may be unknown in that regard, but he has been part of Coach Prime's program since Coach Prime began coaching at Jackson State. Heavy in the recruiting of the offensive line, good relationship with the players and the parents. So I'm looking for Gunnar White to make some noise, man. And because the rapport he has with a Jordan Seaton, with a Phillip Houston coming back off of injury, been with Rock since Jackson State, Tyler Brown. Don't sleep on Gunnar White and what he's going to do with this offensive line with the support of George Hageman.
Now that's dope. And I believe somebody in the chat, but that ain't the first time I heard. They say he a black belt in Taekwondo.
Yeah, he is a black belt. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get ready to take it down. So no, I think it's what I like about it is more than anything is hiring from within. When I was out there in Colorado and me and you had that long sit down with Coach Prime, we heard him talk about his philosophy, which is you want to bring people up, and now that opened up an opportunity for somebody else to be lifted from where they are to get in that same pipeline. And so I think the way that he's building from within, and he knows he's going to lose coaches. You make a great point of that, Uncle Neil, when you say you don't, when you have good guys, that there are going to be people coming after him.
Absolutely.
So I think this is a rising star in the industry that Coach Prime is really saying, you know what, this guy's been with me, he's helped, and nobody has a better idea of what he actually means to the program than Coach Prime. And if we know anything about Coach Prime, we do know that if you don't fit what he's trying to do, it's nothing personal. I just got to win. And so if he didn't think that he would help him win, I know for sure. And he's had a 4-year interview at minimum. So if he didn't think that this was the guy for the job, in 4 years of seeing how he moved and how he operates with the support of a George Hageman, then then you can't really believe in what Coach Prime is doing if you don't believe that he made the right hire. So, man, shout out to Coach Gunnar, man, and looking forward to big things from him.
Yeah, man, I'm going to double back on something you said about that hiring from within that 4-year interview. Because, again, whether you know this guy from the staff or not, he has been with Coach Prime since Coach Prime touched down at Jackson State and walked in as a volunteer. And so here you got a guy who's gone from volunteer to graduate assistant to analyst, to now inheriting the room from Phil Lodeholt. And so each of Coach Prime's offensive line hires, whether it's Marcuson at Jackson State, the two O-line coaches of Colorado, it's been Gunnar White who's been the consistent backbone in the room, knowing what Coach Prime wants, because the other guys hadn't worked for Coach Prime before. So they did a lot of leaning on him. And you even hear Coach Prime saying when he hired people from outside the organization, he said, y'all got to stop looking at people's titles and look at what job they were doing. And so Rob Livingston may not have had the title that you thought was sexy at Cincinnati, but everybody that Coach Prime talked about how integral Rob Livingston was in the success of Cincinnati's defense. And that's what got him, to Colorado. And so when you look around the offensive line room, and Coach Prime knows who's been in there working with the players, working with the parents, working with the coach, being liaison to the head coach, getting everything ready on game day. Gunnar White knows what he's doing. He's earned this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to covering his success, his coaching style, and showing more and more so people can finally get to know him in a manner that we've known him, over these 4 or 5 years.
No, I mean, shoot. Everybody I'm watching Twitter, and when there were a couple of people saying, "Hey, this can't be true," and you saw a couple of naysayers and things like that, and then I saw somebody make a tweet that just made sense, and it was like, "Bro, you think he don't know what he's doing?" Like that quick, just all he said. You think he don't know what he's doing? And I think this year with the more veteran offensive line, you got a lot of people back, and you add some pieces. I think you'll see the improvement and being able to get into more of what Sherman wants to do as far as running the ball, which has been his calling card. And people don't realize that you've got basically an offensive line coach and your offensive coordinator as well, who's coached a ton of blocking schemes and techniques over his time. So I think by having somebody, I think that synergy that's going to be created between those three, being the offensive coordinator and the two in the offensive line room, I think it's going to be exciting, especially with the shift in paradigm when it comes to running the ball this year.
Yeah, before I kick it back to you, man, well, it might be on me, but you nailed it best. 4-year job interview. I trust Coach Prime. If I was on the outside, I would be trusting Coach Prime. As a person on the inside and having worked with Gunnar White and Coach Prime, I can tell you this is a sound hire. I don't know if someone's looking for him to, hire Jackie Slater, Hall of Famer from the Rams or something, but, this guy knows what he's doing and he's going to make noise in that room.